Hello students, today we're going to be learning about the organelles that make cells work. We're going to be learning about the parts of the cell, and we're going to do it in a special way. Now, when I was in school, the way that they taught us about the different structures and organelles inside of the cell was to give us a coloring sheet. We would take the coloring sheet and we would color the different parts of the cell and then label them. I think when I was in college for a biology course, I actually made a three-dimensional clay cell. What we're going to do though is we're going to make a virtual cell using the skills that we've learned as we've been learning about Scratch computer programming. And so I want you to go ahead and open up your Scratch accounts. Go ahead and log in. I've already logged into mine right up there, Mr. Rains. And then we're going to do a project. All right, so let's get ready to go. Now, of course, you're going to hit create. You're going to be starting from scratch, but I've already sort of put some things together so you can see how they're done and you don't have to watch me do those things. All right, and then I'll show you how I did what I did, and then you can go ahead and do these things your way. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to observe the fact that I have made a separate sprite for every single organelle. In the past, I've had students who go ahead and just draw a picture of the cell, and that doesn't work out because you can just go ahead and draw a picture of the cell, but then it becomes hard to actually program the individual features of that cell. So I don't want you to do that. What I do want you to do is I want you to make sure that you make a different sprite for each part of the cell. I got my cell membrane, my nucleus, my cytoplasm, my mitochondria, my Golgi apparatus, and my lysosome are the structures that we're going to be learning about today. Now, earlier in the week, I know that I gave you a study guide. I gave you a study sheet that you're supposed to be using in order to know what the structures were. So you should go ahead and take that study sheet out if you haven't done it already. All right, and it has the definition for each of our structures in the cell. And let's get started. Okay, so basically what we're going to do is we're going to make it so that after we finish drawing all the separate sprites and resizing everything and getting everything we want to go ahead and make it so that every time we click on a certain part of the cell, that part of the cell tells us what it does. Okay, are you guys ready to see that happen? Let's go that. Okay, so let's start with, I don't know. Well, we'll just go in order. Let's start with the cell membrane, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to start with the cell membrane. We're going to go up to our controls. And if I want this to happen when I click on the cell membrane, which control do you think I should use here? Somebody, anybody? Which control do you think I want to use here? Or which event, I should say, not control. But which event do I want to use here? Right, when this sprite is clicked. Very good. When this sprite is clicked, let's just zoom in so we can see that extra big on the board, okay? So when this sprite is clicked, right, we want it to do something. What do we want it to do? Anybody? Anybody? What do we want it to do? We want the organelle to tell us what it does. And so we probably want to go up to here to looks, right? And, we got here, say. Let's pick a time. Say for 2 seconds. But do we want it to say hello, ladies and gentlemen? No, we do not. We do not want it to say hello, kids. We want it to actually tell us what it does. I'm going to go over here to the definition that I wrote down ahead of time. I'm going to copy, Control C, come back over here, highlight these letters, and Control V, paste, and put it in there, okay? So let's see what this looks like. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to click on the cell membrane. Let's see what happens. Ooh, nice. Did I have enough time to read that? No, I did not have enough time to read all of that. So instead of saying, let's make this for 2 seconds. Hold on, let me zoom out a little bit because now I'm having trouble seeing my, there we go. Let's go ahead and let's make it for, we think is a good time. 10 seconds? 5? Let's try 5 seconds. Let's see 5 seconds, see if that works. Okay, click on it. Cell membrane. Protective layer of the cell. It is made of lipids and it controls what go. A little short. Let's make it even 10 seconds. So in case people read slow, you know, sometimes like I read slow. So let's go ahead and let's do it that way. 10 seconds. The cell membrane is a protective outer layer of the cell. It is made of lipids and it controls what goes on in and out of the cell. Very good. Only problem I have with that is that it doesn't look like the actual cell is that the membrane is saying it. How can we fix that, ladies and gentlemen? I think we should fix that. I think let's go into costume. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to move, see where this little cross here in the middle is? I'm going to move my cell membrane like sort of to the edge of that cross and see how that affects it. Okay, and then I'm going to move this back over the top and see how that works. Okay, that's not what I wanted at first. Let's see how it works now. Script code. All right. That's still a little off. Okay, I'm gonna have to go ahead and play around with my the bubble controls and make sure that the part that I clicked sends the word bubble back to that part. Okay, so that's some solutions that we're gonna have to go ahead and play around with, and we're gonna come up together. Come up with together as a class. All right. Now remember that you don't always have to go ahead and redo a code. Remember that once you go ahead, you have some code that you like, rather than going ahead and re-getting all the parts for it again, you can just take it, bring it over to your next part. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to drag it over to nucleus. I'm going to drop it. And now when I go to nucleus, the code's already there. Of course, this is not what the nucleus does. So I'm going to go back to my cheat sheet, pick up nucleus right here. Almost picked up cytoplasm. Way to go, science teacher. And then control that. Okay, now let's try the nucleus. I click on the nucleus. Oh, that works a lot better. The nucleus contains the DNA of the cell and gives instructions for making the proteins needed to make new cells. It should say gives. Let me fix that. And gives. Put an S in there. You know how Mr. Moraines feels about grammar mistakes, right? You want to check our grammar. But let he who's without sin throw the first stone. Am I right, kids? Am I right? You know I'm right. Okay, great. And then we're going to do this for the rest of our cell. Okay. Let's do this for our cytoplasm. Drop that in there. Now let's go to cytoplasm. Now, of course, I'm just using words and text. I think you guys know how to add sound. And so if you want to go ahead and actually do a voiceover where we hear a person talking and describing the function of this part of the cell, I think that'd be a great idea. If you want to make the cell like do something weird, like spin, or if you make the organelle like spin around, or if you want to make it maybe like grow a little bit and then shrink again, in order to bring it to the forefront and then take it back, that'd be another great idea. I want you guys to be creative. Now, this group has always been a really creative group. You're more creative than all my other classes. I'm going to say that. Don't tell other classes I told you that. You guys are more creative than the other guys. They're a bunch of stiffs. You guys are great. You're good thinkers. So I want you to go ahead and use that creativity to find some ways to shake this up, all right? This is just an example, a very basic, bare bones example of what I want done for this project. But of course, this is your time to shine, okay? So do I have cytoplasm? Let's check it. Yes, cytoplasm. Very good. And gel should only have one L in it, right? Should only have one L. That provides volume and internal pressure of the cell. Okay. I should probably add that it holds all the other organelles too, right? The other internal organelles are suspended in it. Right? Like it. I wonder, does it make a difference where I click? I guess it just pretty much fits it in where it can fit. One thing I might suggest then, I think our problem that we were having earlier with our cell is you may want to make your cell smaller than mine. You see, if we go big screen, my cell is really, really big. and it takes up almost the entire screen, which leaves very little space for the text. So maybe you want to go ahead and make your cell a little bit smaller than mine, maybe half the size of my cell. So maybe your cell should only be about maybe as big as my nucleus, or maybe a little bigger than the nucleus. Okay, just as a editing note, engineering note. And again, remember that there's really no problem that you're not smart enough to solve. Um, you just have to have the patience to try different things, right? Okay, I'm going to go ahead and do the mitochondria. Okay, test that, see if it works. Very good. The arrows, like in the nice, this is in the nice part, right? And I have another idea I'm going to do with the mitochondria, and then I'm going to show it to you later. Okay, so the mitochondria does what I want it to do, right? So here's what I want to do. I want to make a bunch of mitochondria because there's more than one mitochondria inside of a cell, right? I obviously am not going to be able to do all the mitochondria that we might find inside of a cell, but I can do it. And I may want to go ahead and consider doing another command so that that was not supposed to happen. I may want to consider doing another command that allows me to only have the words up when I'm actually like ready to go, so it doesn't just happen automatically. That's up to you. That's your own personal decision. But we know that whenever you make a program, it's a process. I try and be very transparent and let you guys see my mistakes because that's what science is. Science is like doing a bunch of things wrong or getting a bunch of wrong answers before you get the right answer. And so I know my habit as a teacher was always to do to have everything prepped and ready to go so that I didn't make any mistakes in front of my students. And what I found was is that students tended to think that I was like this perfect teacher that did everything perfectly. When the reality is I usually make a lot of mistakes before I get it right. And I want you all to model me making mistakes before I get things right. Okay. What I do want to do is I do want to push this to the back. So I'm going to go to here, go to back layer and just click it. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm clicking the wrong thing. Here we go. Go to back layer. There we go. Because I want the cytoplasm in the back, not in the front. Okay. Okay, where was I? I got the mitochondria. Right. And I also got a thing about people like going off about the mitochondria being the powerhouse of the cell. Sort of become a meme lately to like make fun of that, and is totally not something to make fun of. That's useful information. The mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. It makes ATP. There is no energy, not just for the cell. There's no energy for the body. If you guys ever heard of the poison cyanide, cyanide literally takes the does not allow the mitochondria to produce ATP to produce energy, and you die. So take that, Twitter. Where is my other mitochondria? Oh, I wonder. Okay, we'll worry about that. I'll go look for that later. Okay, let's just go ahead and finish this. Let's do the Golgi complex. The Golgi I used to say Golgi complex until I started studying my English rules and realized that whenever you see a G next to an I, it always makes its soft sound, so it's the Golgi apparatus or complex. Okay. Great. And I just want one of those. And I think I do want some extra lysosomes. What do you guys think? Again, there's more than one lysosome in the body. So I do want extra. So let me just go ahead and first of all fix that, make sure that it works. Okay. Okay, so let's make sure that it works. And once I'm able to verify that it works, let's go ahead and let's duplicate some of those too. Let's sprinkle those throughout the body. Oh, there's the extra ones. They are hiding behind the nucleus the whole time. Ha! Thanks for pointing that out, Hadassah. Okay, now I'm going to put the nucleus in the middle here, okay? All right. So what I want you to do is I want you to use the definitions that I gave you in your cell structure and organelle function sheet. I want you to create an organelle in Scratch or sprite in Scratch for each organelle. And then I just want to make it so that whenever I interact with those organelles, that they do something. But whatever they do, they have to teach me about what each individual organelle does. And then I think what we will do is we will have I will grade them, of course, but then we'll have a contest to see who has the most entertaining cell. And as always, the contest is always voluntary. You don't have to enter the contest, but I do like to see you guys enjoy and appreciate each other's work. All right. If there are any questions about what you want me to do next or what you should do next, go right ahead. I'm sorry. Yes, sound. Okay, so you want to know how to do sound. All right, I will try and do sound. As you know, we're doing this remotely, so I want to make sure that we do this well. Let's see here. The nucleus contains the DNA of the cell and gives instructions for making the proteins needed to make new cells. Okay, so if you want to do sound, if in case you've forgotten, you want to go up here to the sound bar, right? And if you go to the sprite that you want to do the sound for, you'll notice that you have 3 tabs. Let's go to sounds, right? And of course, we have the sound right here. I mean, that has nothing to do with the nucleus. What I can do is I can record my own sound. So I'm going to go down here. I'm going to click on the microphone. It's going to ask me permission to use my microphone. Of course, allow it to use my microphone. Okay. And then we're going to record. Wait, just make sure. Testing, testing, testing. It doesn't like it's recording my microphone. Let's see. The nucleus contains the DNA of the cell. Well, that doesn't look right. Let me see. Okay. Like I said, the problem might be that it's using the wrong microphone. So what I want to do is go up here and pick which microphone it's going to use. Continue. Manage microphones. And it's going to use I'm going to tell it to use my webcam microphone. Hopefully it's available. Let's try and use my big microphone here, the one that's up in my face, so I can sound good. All right, let's try this again. Testing, testing. Oh, there it is. Okay, that looks good. All right. The nucleus has the DNA, and the DNA provides instructions for how to build proteins for the cell and therefore the body. Now, of course, it's not the same thing that I wrote down, but let's see what it sounds like. For the cell and therefore the body. No, I want the whole thing. There we go. The nucleus has the DNA, and the DNA provides instructions for how to build proteins for the cell and therefore the body. There you go. We'll hit save. Okay. So now I can use that as a sound. So if I go back to my code for the nucleus, right? I can go ahead and what I really should do though, and that's what you should do, make sure that you have your worksheet next to you, and you should record exactly what your worksheet says. Okay. So that's where I'm being a bad example. All right. But it's difficult for me on the computer to record and look at my thing at the same time because everything here is digital. All right. So I'm going to go to sound and I'm going to say play sound, but the sound I wanted to record is recording 1. Okay. So you play recording 1. So let's see what happens. Oh, no, I see the problem. No, stop, 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 stop. All right. problem is that it's following my direction. It says when I click the sprite, or show this and show it for 10 seconds. And after it shows that for 10 seconds, then it's going to read what I said. I don't want that to happen. I want it to happen at the same time. So I'm going to detach this. I'm going to add of another when the sprite is clicked. Boom, and then try it that way. The nucleus has the DNA, and the DNA provides instructions for how to build proteins for the cell and therefore the body. Okay. Some other things I want you to think about. I want you to go ahead and think about adding some background. So go ahead. You can go ahead and add a really cute background to the back. I'm going to be really lazy, and I'm going to do a gradient background in the back here. And it's going to go from, I don't know, say from light purple and make this like, I don't know, deep purple. Sure, why not? Okay. Well, let's swap that. There we go. All right. So I'm going to make the background, boom, like that. I said boom and nothing happened. I feel silly now. Let's try it again. I'm going to make the background, boom, like that. Okay, let's try this again. This time I'm not going to say boom because I feel like boom is jinxing it. This is my fill. I pick gradient. Ugh. Why are the colors so muted? Okay. Let's try this again. Okay, I don't know what I'm doing wrong right here. I suppose maybe I should just go ahead and draw a box. Okay. That's my background. Boom. Done. Okay. I guess it only fills a solid shape. I didn't have a solid shape, so I didn't fill anything. But sure, whatever. So there's my little cute background. Again, if you want to go ahead and make your characters jiggle every time I click on them, as well as speak and show their boxes, I think that's a good idea too. But be creative. Do something great. Don't worry about if you're not a great artist. This is not an art class, but I do want you to be creative and give it 100%. You guys are going to have the rest of the class work on your projects. I'm going to give you, and then we'll see where everybody is at the end of the class on their projects. I expect to see everybody working creatively. I expect them to see them working hard. I'll be coming around to answer individual questions. Remember, I'm only one person. I can only answer one question at a time, okay? You guys have at it, and I look forward to seeing what kind of sales you come up with. Goodbye.